Oh my God. Not the shots we want from close range there, and I would imagine it's the area of the game that brings in the most fear for a lot of golfers, and those are delicate little chips around the green, pitches, little chips, something where we're getting a wedge out. But I want to share with you a real simple drill that I've shared with some of my students that's revolutionized how they're starting to chip. And all we need to do when we think about those poor shots that I've just hit, whether it was the fin or whether it was the duff, a lot was happening with my wrists. A lot was going on. As I hit those shots, I intentionally tried cupping my front wrist, almost feeling like I'm flicking or scooping, are words that I hear a lot as I was going through. I was also trying to help the ball up almost with a little bit of my body, almost moving upwards and backwards away from the golf ball, things that I don't want to be doing when I'm chipping. Real simple thing I did with one of my students recently, just to try and limit the amount of wrist we saw in it. If you just take your club and just grip down like this, what we're going to see is that you can't have the club directly in your stomach there because you can't get down to the right posture. So what it makes you do is actually just angle it out in front of you a little bit, and notice as I'm doing this, what happens to that lead wrist. It goes flat and almost starts to get a little bit of bend away from the target. Now, if I then just put the club on my lead side, almost around my hip area, what you would notice is if you were doing your old swing, the ones that we saw in our first shots, you would make the swing, and what you'd be very quick to do is get the grip flicking into that lead side. We don't want to try and do that. We want to try and do something ever so slightly different. Guys, just before I tell you what it is you need to do, remember, subscribe to the channel just down there below, and also leave me a comment of something that you're struggling with in your golf game, and it could feature in one of our next lessons. Let's go find out. Now that I've got the grip outside the lead side of my body and I'm not trying to flick it, what I want to try and do is not be so wooden. I want to try and let my body turn, but I want to try and keep my wrists in the same position. So notice now here, I've not got the grip hitting me, but I've actually turned my body and I've got my weight on my front foot. So I'll have a little hinge and just turn and rock. Little hinge and turn and rock. And as I do this, I'm nowhere near that lead side. I'm not flicking and smacking all the time. Once I'm then comfortable at actually doing this, just bring a golf ball in and try and hit some small shots. Take your normal grip, maybe just let that shaft lean slightly towards the target so you feel that little bend in the wrist, and then just try and maintain it while you get that little turn towards your target. And what we'll see from there then as we go through is that we're actually able to get some nice crisp little chips, and even your bad ones will be a million times better than your actual bad ones or even your good ones when you were doing the little method before. So real simple, adopt the little bend and then try and feel that we're going to be less wooden, and actually from there then it's an easy little shot to get those chips away. Guys, I hope you've enjoyed that video. As I did say earlier, hit that sub button and we'll see you in your next lesson.